Yo, yo, welcome to my block. My name is Andre Webley. This podcast is a documentation about my life, business, and fitness, as well as giving you all some healthy tips and tricks to help benefit you starting with your body and mind. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so I know I've been gone for a little bit, and I know I said that I'm going to be a little bit more adamant about telling you all when I'm leaving and how long I'll be gone for, or even just peeking in and just letting you all know how I was doing. I definitely didn't do that. But if you are following me on social media in terms of Instagram, you can find me at Built by Andre. I'll plug it in down below so you can actually see. The links are going to be in the description as well. So, yeah, a couple of things that I've just been dealing with mentally is that, ever since like Thanksgiving, I got into a whole bunch of shit. And I'm going to say a whole bunch of shit, but a decent amount of stuff that actually gets thrown me off kilter. And I just been dealing with the residual effects from that. It's okay. It's nothing that's mind blowing, but everyday living life, kind of just like wore me down after I had gotten into like a car accident. And that right there it kind of messed with me mentally. It messed with my groove in terms of how well I was doing things, and it literally just threw me off kilter. It was like I didn't know. Almost felt like I was a lost puppy at certain moments. Like I didn't know exactly where I should be and what I should do. Not to say I was concussed, but it just threw me off my game. And it took a little bit to regain some of that stability to be where I am right now. Like I felt like none of that should even happen. And, I wasted tons of resources, money on things that I didn't have to, if I was just being a little bit more careful. But, 'tis life, you live and you learn. I've seen a lot of people get hurt over the last year, and my troubles are very minute compared to theirs. So it's just like, just getting out of my own head and doing well, but that's that. So I am just going to be coming back with the podcast. I know it took me so long to actually get back here, but thank you all for waiting. Those who subscribed and kept following and kept downloading the podcast. Thank you so much for doing that. It definitely makes my life a lot more enjoyable. Not to say it's not enjoyable, but it makes it piques my interest when I go on when I go to my records and see how many people have downloaded the podcast. And I'm just like, damn, like they're still downloading. Like I'm not even here. So, I'm still watching from the outside in. But it's just good to know that you all are just taking the content and just, doing whatever you want with it. Whether you're listening to it for like background noise or you fall asleep to it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just glad that you're actually listening to it, because you could be listening to anything else, but you decided to listen to my podcast. So thank you so much for that. And we're just going to dive right into a couple of the topics today. And all I'm really going to do is just give you a gist upon, what I've been actually doing, what I'm working on, and some of the challenges that arise over the last 7 months since, I haven't really been on. I think it's been about 7 months. So, first things first, I joined the gym. I joined Crunch Fitness right down the street, and it was awesome. And it is awesome. Though I still wear my mask every day when I go to the gym. There's certain points where it's like if I'm on the platform and there's just literally like 10 feet in between each platform. 10 feet in between me and the next person on the other platform. I won't wear my mask because I'm doing like heavy compound lifts or whatever it is. But if I'm on the floor, I'll definitely just wear my mask. Just get that. It's a little harder to breathe, but I've wore not resistance mask. What are they called? They're training masks. I think they're actually called training masks, but restrictive breathing mask. And I've done that, so it's not like really a big issue. So it's, it is what it is. Am I still worried about COVID? Hell yeah! Like it until the CDC is just like, yo, we're all good. Nobody needs to wear a mask. You don't need to be vaccinated. I'm probably still going to be wearing a mask just in case. But I'm getting back into the groove of things and actually lifting some heavy ass weights. I'm very happy with my gym life right now. It's very hard to say that I don't enjoy going to the gym. I definitely missed lifting weights, deadlifts, power cleans. I just got into the swing of doing power clean for full power cleans, clean and jerks, and all that good stuff. Just about like a week ago. It feels really good to be doing something like this because it's been so long. It's probably been like close to 3 years since I've actually power cleaned anything. And it makes me happy to be in the gym doing stuff that I like doing. A couple of things that have actually happened to me over the last week in terms of being at the gym. You would think that girls will walk up to you and, it's the classic meme where it's like, I'm going to get swole and be good at this. And a bunch of girls are going to come talk to me. No, it's completely opposite, brother, man. You're definitely going to have a lot of guys approach you talking about X, Y, and Z. How do you do this and this, that, and the other. But I had this gentleman approach me about the shirt that I was wearing. Not this one in particular, but I was wearing a funnel hacker shirt. Those who heard me talk about Russell Brunson and Click Funnels, the name of the group or the name of what we call ourselves are funnel hackers. So he asked me, hey, what's a funnel hacker? And I literally gave him maybe like 30, 45 minutes of my time just to talk about what I do, how I do it, and how I get done. But it was cool because I've met this guy one time before. He didn't know this, but I met him like 2 years ago at Planet Fitness. Funny how the world works, right? And I met him and, we literally just hit it off, whatever the case may be. We talked for, like I said, like 30 minutes about, business, how to move forward. We exchanged numbers and we exchanged a couple of books that we've read that would help us get into, the right mind state. Or I even shared a couple of the books that I know, the 3 Russell Brunson books, the Expert Secrets, .com Secrets, and Traffic Secrets. The Expert Secrets is going to learn. It's going to teach you how to find who you are, what your business could be, and it will show you, the people who you should serve. .com Secrets is more about funnels, how to make a funnel, how to take traffic from one area and put it into another area, and X, Y, and Z. So if you've seen my page, the Built by Andre page or whatever the case is, if you go on there, the 9 Ways book, or if you've downloaded the recipe book, I'll link them below. If you download those, then you've seen what a funnel is. It's just literally a direct a tool that helps direct and literally funnel people into the process that I want them to see. So it's very interesting to be doing stuff like that and to share that, because literally that's what got me into business. And that's why the question was just so funny. You asked me what I did, and I'm just like, oh boy, you opened up a can of worms that you didn't even know. But it's good because when you get a chance to rub elbows with people and just figure out what they're about, you're gonna figure out one of two things: either they talk a good talk, or they walk and they talk. You know what I mean? They get down to the business, and it's just nice to be able to see people like that, because it opens up so many doors. Like a couple of days ago, he had called me and he asked me like, hey man, like would you be interested in like some mentorships? Like I'm getting ready to talk to my mentor right now, and you sound like you're the kind of person who likes to get things done, essentially is what he said, quote unquote, not quote unquote, air quotes, right? I'm paraphrasing. And I said, hell yeah, why not? I love learning, and if his mentor could show me different ways to make money, to make different avenues or revenue streams and everything like that, hell yeah, why not? I'm in the business of making myself better, rubbing elbows with people, and making sure that I'm able to bring the most value to anybody that I meet. Because if you don't have any value, there's no point of talking. It's like you're talking to talk. You ever hear like an 18-year-old talk? That's what it kind of feels like. If that 18-year-old is talking about life, it's just like, what do you really know about life? You might have been through some shit, but like, what have you learned? Have you healed from those traumas? Have you learned anything? Have you done anything productive? Have you healed from your past traumas? And it's good to just run into people because, guys are always, and one thing I've just shifted my focus on, and it is what it is. I focus my attention on helping males because we are in need of having powerful males around us in terms of friendships, mentorships, guidance, and just being able to teach your fellow man, your children, your nieces, your nephews, how to be a better person, how to be a better man, how to actually be a man is very important, because a lot of these things that I'm learning, that I've learned over the last 6 or 7 years, I wish I would have learned earlier. You know what I mean? Not to say that my dad didn't do a good job of raising me. Yes, he definitely did a great job, because it allowed me to open up the doors that I am right now. But if I had a choice, I wish I could go back and be like, ask your dad more. You know what I mean? Ask about, your home, the equity, the loans. How do I get approved for certain things? How much does credit really matter? How can I fix my credit? How can I, balance your checkbook? How can I do all these kind of things that will help a man growing up, especially when you're young, because you're gonna run into a lot of money. Like I spent so much money just growing up. You know what I mean? Over the last 7 years of my life, I just spent so much money on things that if I would have had a chance to talk to a 21-year-old Andre, I would definitely tell him to invest in certain things, to do things a little bit differently. Not to say that I was frugal with money, but I just didn't know what to spend it on. You know what I mean? Like, I spend my money on like alcohol and weed, and I'm just like, what else could you actually spend that money on? Could you have put it into a stock portfolio? It's not like I didn't know about stocks. It's just like, that's not something that I was interested in. But I wish I would have read more books. I wish I would have found the books. I'm not sure if they was actually out, but I wish I would have, done a little bit more research about getting into business and figuring out like, hey, why don't I be a personal trainer a lot sooner? I think I became a personal trainer when I was 24, turning 24. So if I could have done that 3 years earlier, I would have been places. But I have no problem being where I am right now, because it's like I could see the finish line, and I can see the obstacles in my way as well. And I'm not afraid of those things. My favorite thing to do is not to lose, right? I love winning, but I hate losing more than I love winning. And that's what literally keeps me going forward. And you're going to lose a lot in entrepreneurship. Trust me. When you first start off, this shit is rockier than the mountains, the Appalachians, baby. And it's like, you're gonna have to take some losses. You're gonna spend more money than what you're actually making, or the money that you are making, you're going to spend. And there's no way around that unless you are charging like premium services. But who really starts business charging premium services that you actually know? I can name a few people. Well, I couldn't name, like specifically name, but in terms of the group, the ClickFunnels group that I'm in, the funnel hackers, yeah, them. You know what I mean? I wish I would have learned how to sell things earlier, at an earlier age, not to be so timid, to have a stronger posture when I'm in the room, because where I am now, it's different. You know what I mean? When I would say this, I was able to walk the walk, but I wasn't able to talk the talk. Like, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know how to explain it. And one thing that I've always explained to people in terms of training and fitness, and any trainers that I've trained, I've always told them, you want to be able to explain this like you're explaining it to like a third grader or somebody who's like 6 years old, 7 years old. Be able to explain it so they're able to get the concept down. And then when you bring that to an adult, they're like, oh shit, all right, awesome. But another thing that I've also used, and a very powerful tool, if you don't know about it, it's storytelling. And I always think about this, is like, why do you think the Bible is full of stories? It's literally just full of stories, because they're the best teachers. And if you could learn from somebody else's story, or if you could learn from an analogy, whether it's being in the gym or being outside the gym, I tend to use both of them a lot. If you notice in any of my previous podcasts, like I've always used analogies and whatever. But people learn a lot better when they could picture themselves doing something, and when they could picture themselves failing, right? but you actually have to fail. You can't just like picture yourself, oh, I'm gonna fall, because you don't know how you're gonna react when you fall. Yeah, you might be pissed off. You probably know how your emotions are gonna be, but in terms of the action and how you recuperate from that, a lot of people are afraid of that result and how can I bounce back from X, Y, and Z. And I also teach my clients how to bounce back from food, in terms of when I have fried chicken or when I have a fatty steak, or if I'm having a week where I've had, where I've overeaten. I don't really like using negative connotations for food, like cheat meals. Like it's like I'm cheating to eat. Like, no, that makes zero sense. So I try to take those negative connotations out, and we'll focus on food. It's having better habits, learning how to rebound off of, days or weekends or weeks of just being on vacation, taking your time, not eating the proper things, and just being able to functionally get them done. Like using your brain power and not being afraid, not being a wimp. I'm talking to the guys. Not being a wimp about, getting back into the groove of things. A lot of people, they fail and like, well, that's it. They, wash your hands with it. I'm going to change and do something else. So I got a question for you all. How can you get better at doing something when you consistently keep changing what you were doing? How are you going to find out what you're good at? Right? So it's the same thing with exercising. In order to get good at exercise, repetition is king. You know what I mean? Consistency and frequency, they're right there. Sir, consistency, night repetition, bro. Like, bro, I know it's easier said than done, but if it was easy, would you really do it? If it was easy, was it really worth it? And you run into those kind of issues. So I'm not really a big stickler on people who are not willing to get things done, man. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, yes, it's hard, but everything else you've done is hard. Yeah, you might be naturally talented in certain things, but come on now, how many times do people just like not even think twice about things that they're good at? And that was my issue when I was growing up. It was like, I've been exercising since I was 8. May have not been doing it correctly all the way up until that point, but I know that was something that I loved doing, and it took me all the way up until I was 23, 24 to figure out I want to be a personal trainer. I've done this my whole entire life. I know I know a lot about lifting weights. You know what I mean? I'm just like a sponge, and I've just soaked up a lot of shit over the last 8 or 9 years of actually just learning really what fitness is about. And it's not only about weightlifting, just a couple of other pillars in there, whether you're thinking about breathing, eating, and I consider all those things like kind of fitness. They're in the realm of fitness. You can't be extra fit, or you can't be fit in general without having the food to actually support your muscles, your brain power, your functioning, being able to think, having the actual strength, the mobility, the stability, to do these things is very important. For people who are just, it's almost like drives me nuts how many people I just see just thinking about exercising, and just moving and lifting weights. But how many people think about the mobility aspect? How many people think about the stability aspect? How many people think about doing like core? You know what I mean? Like, let's not focus on abs and getting shredded. It's very easy to get shredded. As simple as I could put it, eat less calories and burn more calories. It's simple as that. Well, I should be a little bit more frank, but you need to have more calories going out than you have calories coming in, if that makes any sense. Thank you for actually paying attention, right? And I know it may be a little bit difficult for some people, but it is definitely something that you could get done in a reasonable amount of time if you are staying focused, if you are staying consistent. If you can't do that, you need to hire yourself a coach. You need to get yourself on a program. You need to find something that actually works for you, right? And one thing that is something that is always dear to my heart is that the things that you tend to avoid are literally the things that you need to succeed. So I see a lot of people avoiding cardio. I see a lot of people avoiding weightlifting. I see a lot of people avoiding lifting heavier weights. And they're like, why am I not losing the weight as fast? Why am I not doing this? Why do I feel better? Why is my energy low? Because you're probably not cooking the food, the way that you should, or you're probably eating out more than what you're really admitting. You're not taking down notes. You're just being a little lazy. Like, there's so many other things that throw people off track. And I don't understand why people thought that this game was easy when it's really not. This whole thing of weightlifting and eating, as weightlifting gets harder because you want to get stronger. You're able to put out just a little bit more strength, or more strength than I'm all tongue tied and everything, bro. You're able to put out more strength than what you were used to because you're stronger. X, Y, and Z, right? Cooking, on the other hand, that gets better with time because you become a better chef. I don't know anybody who's been cooking for more than 10, 15 years and sucks at cooking, right? And I know that may seem like a long time to people who are just starting, but if you're an adult, you should probably know how to cook. And if you don't know how to cook, there's plenty of YouTube videos that came out over the last year. So many people who came out with YouTube channels made tons of money and became better cooks over the last year. Like, it's simple as pie. And it's just like, there's no reason why you should be afraid to do whatever you set your mind upon, whether it's in fitness or in life in general, nutrition, finances, stocks, going to school, getting educated. All these things are hard. They're really they're not easy at all. So especially if you're going for something that you really want, things that you really want probably won't be so easy. And that's just a word to the wise, right? I know I just went on a huge tangent. I do my best to stay on subject, but I know I was talking about the gym. So, I definitely going back to the guy. I'm sorry. I definitely went from left, right, center, and all the way down to the goalpost. But that's just me, right? This is a vlog free. Like, I'm just going to be doing a lot of talking, just giving you all an update about my life, business, and things that I've just actually been dealing with. So please forgive me if it's not in chronological order, but I am going to do my best to stay on track. I do have notes. Don't think I'm just like freestyling or whatever it is. But it's nice to, going back to the guy that I met. Well, I'm calling him Jamie. He's gonna introduce me to his mentor, and I got a meeting actually set up with him coming this week. And I'm excited to see what he has to say. Like I said, just being around like-minded people is definitely going to bring something out of you. You don't want to be around people who are soul snatchers, bro. They just suck the soul right out of you, bro. Like, they make you do things that you probably shouldn't be doing, or things that you probably wouldn't be doing. And it's imperative for you to bring yourself around. I'd much rather be around nobody than to be around a bunch of losers. Point blank, period. And I know I'll better myself, but being around losers, it's like, I know we all have friends in the hood, bro. I'm not saying they're losers, but essentially they are. You know what I mean? If they're not moving forward, if they're not trying to better their life, and they're like, yo, the man is keeping me down, bro, then they're losers. They're not really trying to change their life. They're not trying to hear none of the stuff that you got to talk about, or even support you when it's time. But as soon as you get the bag, they're like, yo, bro, I was with you from day one. You hooked me up, put me on. You want the easy route. You want somebody to hook you up. That's what it is. And you don't want to be around those people because they're going to guilt you into doing shit that you probably shouldn't be doing. It's like, so you don't, if you're in a relationship, you don't go out with single people because single people do single people shit. And they would definitely encourage you to do that. So, being around people, getting the mentor, figuring out the avenues of life where you can increase not only your financial power, but also your mental power. He recommended me a couple of books, and he gave me a couple of apps that I could download to get a bunch of free books. And I'm just like, hell yeah! Like the audiobooks, they're awesome. So one book that actually two books that I've read, and one of them I'm actually currently finishing. The first one, I don't remember his name. I don't think it's Tim Grover. I think Tim Grover wrote Winning. That's the book that I'm in right now. I'm like halfway through the book. It's an awesome book. It's a book about this guy who coached some of the famous athletes like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, coached all of them and everything. And it's just nice to hear the mythology and what his actually brain thought process was going through everything. And then hearing some of the stories from Kobe, Michael Jordan, and I'm guessing we're going to get into LeBron just a little later. But it's just nice to see some of the winning mentalities that they have. I have within myself, and like I said earlier, it's just I love winning, but I also hate losing more than I love winning. So when people ask, why are you so competitive, or if I do say I'm competitive, why. It's because I'd much rather not lose and feel that salt than to, than to win and feel the glory. And it's bittersweet, but it is where it is. And the only reason why I'm beating you like this is because I don't want to lose. I don't want to feel like that feels. You know what I mean? I despise losing, but losing is the only thing that will teach you how to become better. It will teach you how to become more versatile, adaptable, and how to actually conquer your fears. Those things are intangible. You know what I mean? You can't go without them. You know what I mean? And we've all taken losses. Being men, we've definitely all taken losses in the world of society, being outside, getting rejected by girls, doing all these kind of things that they're bitter. I know we all have those kind of experiences that just make your stomach turn, bro. I have a couple, and I think about them. I'm just like, man, only if. But I guarantee you, like, I won't put myself in that situation again. And if I do put myself in that kind of situation, it's to win. It's never to lose and learn a lesson. That's not going to happen. If I go into that bad boy, I'm going into that bad boy to win. I'm going in it for me. Winning is everything. Winning is the only thing. If somebody says they're competitive and their answer to what is winning to you is anything besides everything, they're not as serious about winning. Winning is what he says in the book is that winning is like, it's ugly. It's a battle. It's a war. It's a gruesome. It's a. I wouldn't go as far as to say the word toxic, but it's horrible. It's a tragedy. It's car wrecks, crashes, burns, skid marks, broken nails. All these kind of things come with winning. But nobody ever sees that. Everybody always sees you holding up the trophy, but they don't see your back full of wounds. They don't see your feet full of blisters, your hands cut open. They don't see none of that. They just like, yo, he worked hard for that. But do you actually know how hard I really worked? You know what I mean? Like, you seen the highlight reels and everything like that. And I try to get people to understand, especially men, to understand that, when we put ourselves out there, it's not to look good. It's to be better, to have more value, to do things that we always want to do, to bring ourselves to a point where it's awesome to actually be a man, to actually be healthy, fit, and excelling in the areas of life that you want to excel in. And so, like, if there's any young guys out there listening, please heed my warning. Pick up some books, or what you could do is go look for a mentor. Go on YouTube, start typing in people. One thing that I've done over the last, before I even like get any further, I'm just gonna do this real quick. The last thing that, or what I've been doing over the last 6 months, I've dived into like the red pill community, and it's very interesting. Some things I agree with, some things I don't agree with, but the majority of things I do agree with. There's not really much I can't. And the things I don't agree with, I would just do them at a lesser tone. It's not like I'm not going to do those things anyways. But one good podcast would men should watch, or especially if you don't have any like male figures around you. Like I've learned this stuff from, people that I've watched in terms of being in life and the male role models I have around me. I've learned that stuff from them inherently, and I've learned those things inherently from just the males I have around me and the people that I see, and I do a lot of watching, do a lot of observing. There's three podcasts that literally just changed my perspective. The first one was the roommates. Shout out to y'all doing awesome. Hafiz and Chris, awesome show. The second show that I found was Kevin Samuels. I know y'all seen it, the viral clip where he's like, he called a woman Emmett Smith. And then the third one is Fit and Fresh, or was it Fresh and Fit podcast, right? And that one was that's the one that stuck with me the most. But the roommates definitely opened up the door because it talked more about stepping into that masculine space of being a man, being of high value, and how to actually get there. So that was very important to me because like I knew what I wanted, and I just didn't know exactly how to get there. Like I'm reading all these books already, and then when I found them, it kind of just like clicked, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is the reason why that happened in my life, and that's the reason why that happened, and the reason why she acted like that is because I acted like this. You know what I mean? And like I've taken accountability before. Y'all have heard me talk about past relationships and everything like that. Like I've definitely taken accountability, and this is way before I even heard about like the roommates and Kevin Samuels. So it's like I already knew I was going in that right direction. But when I seen it, I was just like, yo, this is like the stuff that my older brother should have told me. But when I was with my older brother, we was always just fucking around. There was never enough time for me and my older brother to have a conversation that was about, being a better man. It was always about business, and figuring out how to move business forward and how to do certain things. And it was just always amazing, content. I'm going to have my brother on the show soon enough. I'm going to get him all set up and everything. And that way you can see where, we both stand in terms of getting to it, in terms of being in business and learning and growing and giving you all some of the things that giving you a different I'm sorry, it was getting ready to rain outside. Giving you all a different side of me, and also you could see where I've come from in terms of where my brain processes, because my older sister, him, my dad, well, I wouldn't say my dad, but him and my older sister are both entrepreneurs. So I've learned a lot from them. And like I know I was definitely not really trying to go this far. So again, I'm sorry. But being a better man definitely helps. And these are things that all men, and this is why I shifted my focus into helping men, because I was like, there's a need for this, bro. Like, as much as I love training women, as much as I love, doing what I love doing, there's also a need for men. And it's just like anytime I've talked to a guy, whether it was like one of my younger cousins or talking to just a random, and we always get into this conversation of, how can you be better? And they're always attentive. You know what I mean? I can never talk to a woman about how to be a better woman. I'm not a woman. You know what I mean? I can't tell them how to do that. I can't even fathom how for you to be a better woman. But what I do know is things that cause women to be like looked upon, or I guess shamed, I guess. I know those things because they're literally things that just like literally turn me off from women. Like, don't be on the internet shaking your ass. Number one rule: do not do that. You want to preserve your value as a woman. Don't be on the internet shaking your ass. Don't be on a pole. Don't be in the streets. Don't be out here with the OnlyFans, selling your your goods for funds, those are things that all decrease your value, because it's who wants something that everybody has seen? Some people do, you know what I mean? But in terms of longevity and like if you're going to get married to that person, I don't want to get married to an OnlyFans model, or I don't want to get married and then find out she had an OnlyFans account 10 years ago, and then we run into somebody who used to be a subscriber like, yo man, I seen your wife's asshole, seen your titties, I seen all this stuff, you was sucking your best friend's cock. Like, oh, I didn't even know this guy 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that I wish my older brother would have taught me, or I wish my dad would have taught me, and I just learned from other people. But, you know, we're in the day and age of YouTube, and you don't need I wouldn't say you don't need them. You definitely need your parents to talk to you. But they're not going to talk to you about certain things. You know what I mean? Unless you actually bring that up to them, because then they actually got to answer that question. So with that being said, you know, I know I gave y'all like a mouthful. We went from the gym to being a better man to like Kevin Samuels to roommates to all this kind of stuff. And all I was trying to do is stay on path of being on track. So if you guys haven't noticed yet, I do just go on tangents, and I just go. Whatever I set my mind upon is literally what I have to get out, because it's important, and it all kind of like correlates into, you know, being a better human being. Because like I said, Jamie, the guy who gave me the books and everything like that, he wants to see me do better. You know what I mean? Likewise to him, I want to see him do great. You know, that's why I recommended the book. That's why we sat in the gym for 45 minutes talking, not doing anything. You know, so it's imperative for men to share what they know, because it's easy for us. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're a man and you're not trying to share what you know, you're a hater. You're a male hater. That's it. Point blank. Period. Because the people that I hang around, I always want to see them get better. If I'm at the gym, and I got two more instances from over the last week. I should have really coming down. Over the last week, I have two more instances that really made me happy that I'm doing the things that I'm doing, and I know what I know. Because the first one was earlier this week, or earlier last week. I'll call it last week, Monday, whatever it was. I'm doing power cleans per usual on the platform, and this kid, he looks like he's brand new. Who's doing the thing where he's like side-eyeing people, like trying to figure out what they're doing or how they do it, and, you know, starting to throw weight on when he probably shouldn't. And he's doing deadlifts, and I see him do like 5 sets. Trainers keep walking by him. People keep walking by him. I'm sitting at him, and I'm looking at him like, oh God, I don't want to say anything, but I got it. Like, it's killing me. He's starting to pack on more weight, and his form is it was awful. Just you know, man to man, that shit was ugly. So I had to hook my brother up, yo. I'm not gonna let him be out here breaking his back literally on stuff that he could do better on. So I showed him a couple of tips, and I guarantee you he was grateful. I've never seen somebody smile so hard when they've done something correctly, outside of like little kids. You know what I mean? I've seen it with my clients and everything, but for a stranger to be like, yo, I did that, you know, that felt good, that was amazing. Those are the moments that I literally live for. Those make me happy as shit. And not to knock on, you know, the trainers at the gym or anything like that, because I know they're always busy. But you also have some time. I've been a trainer before. You do have just a smidgen amount of time. And I don't know if you want to spend it helping people. But if you can, do it. You know what I mean? Or somebody like me is going to be like, yo, and that happened again. About like 2 days ago, I was doing power cleans again on the platform. Like it seems like most of my conversations happen when I'm on the platform, and I guess it's my lucky spot. It's always in the same platform too, so I'm gonna keep that one in mind. I'm doing power cleans, and he was like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" I go, "Power cleans or full cleans," and he goes, "You know, show me that again." Because last time I did this was like in high school, messed up my wrist, and you know, LCL injury from playing football. It's like, I know, I know how it is. So we start talking about, you know, things that he could do better in terms of power cleans and how he could actually get to the place of feeling good and feeling comfortable. Simple. You started doing them. It literally, rep by rep, it started to become better and better and better. And I'm just like, yo, this is phenomenal. This is why I get into it. And I love online training as much as, as easy as it could be, or time management wise, how much more time I have during the day. It's excellent, bro. And I love doing it, but I also love being in person because it also sharpens my skills. All right? Just give me 1 second. We're going to take a small break and we'll be right back. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you all for stopping by and listening. Please leave me a like or a dislike. And if you do like the content that I'm actually putting out, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date with the latest content that I'm bringing to you all. If nobody's told you this within the last week, 48 hours, or day, I'm going to let you know right now. I love you. Be safe, great, and amazing. I'll catch you all later. Peace.